Welcome back to another episode of Blerd Up Reviews, where we review the latest and greatest in movie, TV, and gaming. We are your hosts. I'm Killicam,
And I'm Monique.
and today we are reviewing the United States versus Billie Holiday.
Yes.
All right, so we were pretty excited when this trailer dropped. We actually did a reaction for it, and I think I was just looking forward to it because we haven't really seen a Billie Holiday movie lately. I think the last was Lady Sings the Blues, and then there were a couple of documentaries. But I think this one kind of had me excited because we were going to see another aspect of her life. What about you?
Yeah. I to be honest with you, this was my first introduction to Billie Holiday. I mean, I'm aware of her music and everything. However, in terms of her life, I haven't seen Lady Sing the Blues. I hadn't seen any of the docs that were out there in regards to, her life. And I didn't know the stories in regards to Strange Fruit. Again, I know what Strange Fruit the song is about. However, I didn't know the backstory of basically how it was became a song that Billie Holiday sang. So but yeah, I was really excited to get to learn more about Billie Holiday, and as well learn a little bit more about her life and Strange Fruit and everything else. So yeah, I was pretty excited for this movie.
Awesome. Well, before we jump into this review, thank you to everyone who's been liking and subscribing to our channel. It does help us grow. It also makes us feel good that we're able to build this community of blurs and just kind of share our thoughts and feelings on some of these movies and shows. So, thank you for all of your support. If you are new, just stumbling across our channel and you are digging the content, make sure you hit us with a like. And if you're interested in staying up to date, current with all of our reactions and reviews, make sure you hit that subscribe button there for you too and stay in the know.
Yep.
All right, U.S. United States versus Billie Holiday. So, walk us through the movie, just like a brief synopsis here.
Okay, yeah. So the movie is basically about follows Billie Holiday during her career, as she's kind of targeted by the Federal Department of Narcotics, and a federal agent named oh, what is his name? Anslinger. I forgot his first name. Um, because she, does have that song Strange Fruit where they don't want her to sing it. So they're basically trying to come up with ways of stopping her from basically singing that song. And the best way they can do that was through the Federal Department of Narcotics because of Billie Holiday's, drug addiction issues. But she does have this kind of relationship with federal agent Jimmy Fletcher, who's actually sent in to, get intel on Billie Holiday, and so they can arrest her. She does end up having this really friendship and kind of relationship with that federal agent, and this movie kind of tells that story along with some others. But that's basically it.
Cool, cool, cool. So, yeah, what did we like? I think that's a good place to start. What did we like? What did we dislike? And then we can probably jump into a rating. What did you like about the movie?
I absolutely love the performance, and I guess everybody else did, but I love the performance about from Andra Day as Billie Holiday. I really felt like she fit perfectly in the role. I felt like when I was looking at her on screen, I was looking at Billie Holiday. I wasn't looking at Andra Day. So, absolutely loved her performance as well as Trevante Rhodes' performance as Jimmy Fletcher. I love the chemistry between the two, Andra Day and Trevante Rhodes when they were on screen. I felt that chemistry between the two. I felt like they really had this kind of friendship and relationship with each other. So I outstanding performances all around in this movie.
Yeah, I have to agree. Performance wise, this movie was top notch. And again, with Andra Day, she, if you didn't know, she did win a Golden Globe for her performance, second black woman ever to win a Golden Globe in this particular category, basically. And
Mhm,
that's pretty impressive. She's only had one other acting credit that I know of. So for her to
mhm.
come out the gate, be able to embody this character, knock it out the park, I mean, that's kind of a huge deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
The other thing I really enjoyed about this movie is based on what I had already known about Billie Holiday, this kind of helped fill in the blanks and give her more personality to me, because
Mhm.
there was these just like little life moments where she's hanging out with her friends, you know, she's backstage, you know, just I shouldn't say shooting it up, kicking it with the people, you know. So there was this level of personality that I was able to connect to, and whether that's how the real Billie Holiday was or not, I can't say. But in this movie, I definitely had the opportunity to relate to these characters, not just
Mhm.
Billie Holiday, but the characters as a whole. To know about the LGBTQIA representation back in the day, I thought that was big. Shout out to Miss Lawrence, who you don't know from started Real Housewives of Atlanta fame and has worked his way up throughout the scene as a serious actor. I mean, that made me proud to see.
Mhm.
um, the other thing about this movie I really enjoyed was the fashions. You know, I love costumes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really true to form. They did a really good job of just capturing the look of back then, but also like the little, I guess, embellishments of fashion, I guess I
Mhm.
would say, to where it could be taken, worn today, and it just be like fashion forward, I guess I would say. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Yep.
I
Yep.
really enjoyed that. The colors, everything, the acting. I enjoyed this movie immensely.
Yeah. Yeah. Not only that, because you mentioned the LBGTQ representation within the movie, Miss Lawrence, also Billie Holiday.
Yeah.
There were some things in this movie because I've heard, even though I have not seen Lady Sings the Blues, I've heard that that is not really a true representation of Billie Holiday's life.
Mhm.
And I think some people might have went into this movie thinking that we were going to see all everything pretty and everything roses about Billie Holiday's life, but watching the movie, it wasn't that at all. We didn't see all everything, roses and everything's pretty and everything's fantastic within this movie. Basically, I've heard this is more of a more accurate representation of who Billie Holiday's life and the things that happened to her and the things that she went through. And I'm to be honest with you, a lot of people are not happy with that. A lot of the
Mhm.
people, a lot of people are saying that it kind of went too far in some instances with the drug use and the sexual relationships. But
Mhm.
I think when you've got to show the good with the bad. If this is
Yeah.
somebody's life and you're trying to make a true representation of their life, you've got to show both aspects. You can't just say everything was roses and everything was fine when it wasn't.
Yeah.
I do feel some of the scenes did go a little bit too far with the sexual relationships. I understand that was part of Billie Holiday's life, but I don't think I needed to see every single scene, like, but I understand, again, why that was put in there if it is a part of her life. And I mean, you're telling her story.
Yeah.
um
I mean, at the
yeah.
end of the day, this is the way I see it. If we're looking to make a good movie, but also educate and show the big picture of what was happening here, you have
Hmm.
to have those real moments, you know?
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, I have friends who think that gay people were just invented in the 70s. And I'm like, really? Like, in the words of Lafayette, gay people have been making your clothes, cooking your burgers, and doing all this since the beginning of time. So, like,
Hmm.
let's not sit here and pretend like gay people didn't exist back then. That's
Right.
number one. But number two, when you look at the overall subject matter of what this movie and what the United States was doing to people who were uplifting African Americans, they were going out of their way to target these people and take them down. Billie Holiday
Hmm.
is not the first, and she most definitely was not the last that they did this to.
Hmm.
You know, so it
Right.
just kind of speaks to the time. Um, the time, the lack of a better term, the power struggle that
Hmm.
was happening in the most minute things, such as a song that told the truth about history and what was happening to our people, was enough for them to rally a whole federal department and plan this thing for her. And she wasn't hurting anybody. Let's think about it. She
Right.
wasn't hurting anybody. This was nothing, not organized crime. This wasn't murder. Like, she was literally inspiring other people.
Right.
So
Telling the truth, basically.
yeah.
They went after her because she was basically through her song "Strange Fruit," telling the truth about what was actually going on in the United States and definitely in the Deep South. So,
Mhm.
yeah, again, a very true depiction of just the times
Yeah.
that we're. I almost said that we're living in, but I want to say that we're not living in those times anymore, but it's kind of hard to say. It's kind of hard to say that sometimes. But
Yeah.
anyways, in terms of the movie, was there anything that you didn't like about this movie, though?
Um, I won't say that I didn't like. The thing that I left the movie with was wanting more.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted more for some reason, and I don't know how much more there is to
Mm-hmm.
tell, but it did inspire me to kind of go back and relook at some history because for some reason, and I'll attribute this to my old age because it's just the way it is. I tend to get some of these backstories mixed up. And I don't know if it's just because memory or if it's just because this is not an isolated story. This happened to Eartha Kitt. This happened to like Josephine Baker, black women being targeted in this time for inspiring a whole race or having just the audacity and nerve to recognize and acknowledge that they are somebody special.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's what it is where I get details mixed up, but I say that to say it inspired me because I wanted to see more. I wanted to do more research um, regarding Billie Holiday, specifically um, this case, I guess, because I do feel like there's probably some stuff that they had to leave out just for timing purposes. Like from a legal standpoint, I am kind of interested in like the full scope of this and the legal ramifications of something like that possibly happening today.
Yeah. Yeah. I can actually agree with you there, but not only did I find myself wanting to know more about the case that they tried to build or did build against Billie Holiday, but as well her life.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I have not seen Lady Sing the Blues. I probably need to go back to see it, but I'm kind of iffy knowing that it's not like a true representation
Yeah.
of Billie Holiday's life. But I wanted to know more about her, and I did actually, after the movie went off, went back and did some research online to kind of read about her early life, where she's from, what was happening to her, when she was really young, and how she became to be the way she was by the time we did get Strange Fruit, and why she had some of the issues that she had. And I wish I just could have got a little bit more of an understanding of, and I know that's not the name of this movie. I know this was more,
Yeah.
the movie was more centered around that case that the United States was building against Billie Holiday, but I felt myself wanting to know more about Billie Holiday and her life and the things that she's done and the things that she's went through. I kind of feel like um I kind of feel like I want like a Billie Holiday like mini series. I don't think it could
Hmm.
be told in a movie. I think
Yeah.
I just kind of like want a mini series where you can just tell me Billie Holiday's life and I can learn about, everything that she's went through and everything that she did through, 1 hour blocks or something like that. I don't feel like it could be done right in just
Yeah.
like an hour and a half, 2 hour movie. That's what the movie kind of left me wanting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the good thing is, thanks to some of our subs, they did let us know of some documentaries that are out there that I definitely want
Right.
to check out. Also a new trend that I'm noticing with HBO, they are starting to pick more musical artists and build documentaries around them, such as the Bee Gees. I know Tina Turner's got one coming out. I think Dad was telling us that they just recently did one on Mavis Staples.
Hmm.
So it's definitely an option. So HBO, if you're listening, Billie Holiday.
Please, please do, please do.
you know on the blurtometer scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most, 1 being the lowest, where would we rank this movie?
I would probably rank this movie as a 7. And that has to do a lot with the performances from Andra Day and
Mm.
Trevante Rhodes. I know Andra Day has her flowers right now. She has her Golden Globe, but I don't want to forget about Trevante. That, yeah, there was a scene in here where I was like, oh Jesus, like Like he made me like believe what was going on at that
Mhm.
moment. So I also want to give Trevante Rhodes his flowers as well in this movie, and I think that deserves, all in all, with the movie and the performances, a 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it an 8, actually.
Okay.
Specifically for that same reason, Andra Day, her performance, it was amazing to me. The whole cast, and even I'll say it this way because people tend to give Lee Daniels a lot of crap, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But let's not forget this man did Empire. He did Precious, which is a movie I watched once and never will watch again. But
Not
it
watching
wasn't because
that.
it was just too hard of a story for me
Mm-hmm.
to take. But it had nothing to do with the way he shot it or everything. I mean, on a scale, it's a good movie. I'm just not going to watch it again. I don't want to throw myself off the top of a building because I'm depressed. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and that's exactly the reason why I have not watched it, because everybody that I talk to about that movie, they're like, "No, I'm never watching that movie
Yeah,
again." Like I felt so depressed after watching it, and I'm like, I don't want to feel that
yeah.
way.
But
I don't want to have that
let's give
feeling.
that man his props because he does have the ability to churn out stellar performances from his cast.
Yep.
They get awards, you know.
Yep.
So I'm gonna give it an 8. I think this is the first in a long line of maybe acting opportunities for Andra Day. And again, everything from costuming, I just loved it. So I give it an 8.
Yep.
Cool. What did you guys think about the United States versus Billie Holiday, now streaming on Hulu? Drop down in the comments. Let us know what you liked, what you didn't like. Give us some recommendations on either some additional documentaries, books about Billie Holiday, or documentaries about any other artists that you feel like we would be interested in. Until next time, we are your hosts. I'm Killer Cam.
And I'm Monique.
We'll see you on the next episode of Blerd Up Reviews.
Thanks, guys.